If you are an XRP holder and you have been holding XRP for a very long time and your patience is being tested, this is going to be that video which help you reinforce why you are holding on to XRP. It's not just a random selection of words from here and there. It is the direct naming of XRP or on-demand liquidity in various sources. And this is going to give you much bigger picture of what's happening. And then the direct connections like Mojaloop and other things, which clearly is one of a big part even in the Bank of International Settlements. That's something we are going to discuss today, and then we will quickly jump towards the technicals because the price is kind of moving up, down, showing a lot of different stuff. We are going to break all those down for you here quickly. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where the normal retail guys learn how to become the next top 10% of this world. Today, I really didn't think I will be able to make a video. The boy was actually having a little bit of fever. Then I was thinking okay, now I'm starting to catch that. But anyway, right now I'm here. I'm trying to put this. So I'm happy. Now, this is one of thing which we have to look at in a positive way as an XRP holder. But in the general crypto market, while BTC rule the money market, it does seem like a little bit of concern. But this kind of goes towards new proof of work crypto mining, right? So we'll have to see how many of them actually move on towards renewables. So that's going to be a big question on that side. But let me first go to this particular document. Now, this is Bank of Thailand. You can actually see that Bank of Thailand. And this is not an old document. The issue with XRP holders and the critiques here in the same area is that when we try to talk through them with the literal documents from these, they say, oh yeah, that's true, but it's an old one. It's 2 years old. It's 3 years old. It's 5 years old. Yeah, but they build on top of each other. It does not happen to be something coming from thin air. It is literally planting a tree and it grows. So if you are documenting each of these, that's what's happening in the market right now, and you're following the right thing. So here they're talking about retail CBDC pilots, and they give you why it's not going to replace the existing money system, but it's going to be complementing that. Have you heard this somewhere else? Okay, great. Now look at this financial inclusion. We have talked about that a lot of time. Then financial resilience along with lower cost for managing that for the central banks. Why? Facilitating that prevention, money laundering, all of those has to be under control. And this is traditional system and then the new layer of technology. Great. And that's where we are moving next actually. So they talk about a lot of different countries where they have actually implemented this, where they are doing this pilot programs and all. And then you slowly come to an area where here Bank of Thailand really want to do a retail CBDC. So don't be confused. Ripple has positioned XRP as a wholesale utility bridge, right? XRP was developed for wholesale transactions. This is in R3, right? While Bitcoin was developed for retail transaction, but I really don't think any central bank is going to use Bitcoin network to build CBDC. That does not make any sense if they are looking for scalability, low cost and other things, great? That's why we go on further to look at what they are looking at, not what we think they should be looking at, but what they are looking at. Bridging the gap between traditional and digital finance using what? Blockchain. Great. And then this is, remember, a central bank document. Bank of Thailand actually gives you this idea that Ripple's mission is this. Great. But moreover, this is where it gets really interesting. Ripple's on-demand liquidity service has enabled instant move of value through blockchain. Now, what is that actually doing for them? Releasing idle capital across markets and improving cross-border treasury flow. So for them, it's not about, the fees which you pay. Basically, it's about the efficiency at their end. Great. So when they talk about the nostro vostro, where, the worldwide 10, 15, 20 trillion dollars are locked in, maybe for this bank, it's only a billion or 100 billion, who knows? But whatever it is being released because they now don't need this to do the cross-border transaction. Great. That is what Brad Garlinghouse recently talked about. In one of the video, we discussed about that clearly, what Brad was talking, right? And he clearly gave you all those ideas there, but not a lot of people understand that. Right now, the same thing in different words, it's the same exact thing which is happening. What? Repositories of values being connected to XRP ledger, which is really a huge thing. Now, playing the middleman role between financial institution and innovative crypto-friendly institutions. Ripple believes that cryptocurrency and fiat money will coexist for a long time. So we can argue that there is an impact from Ripple's executive in putting this one. Great. But when you go back on where they talk about a retail central bank digital currency, which is not directed towards XRP because it's designed as a wholesale use case, great? So I really don't think it will be Ripple, which they're going to use for sure. But look at what they are talking here. The idea is same, and that's one of the main reason why we see Singapore is supporting Ripple. They've actually granted the license. They've actually been working with them. They have done, different crypto ecosystem works for central bank digital currencies. All of that is being positive on that aisle. Why is that? Because they all understand this new technology cannot be implemented just by governments. They need the help of private sector, and right now Ripple has positioned themselves as one of the best software provider who can educate them with the history of experience from all the Silicon Valley big companies, right? So that is what you need to keep that idea, that's what we are really looking at. Then when you go on to ripple.com and you see this, crypto means business. They're now doubling down on crypto side of their business, which is on-demand liquidity or XRP. Now we know they have different front inside the crypto ecosystem, which is all working fine. And that's all great because all of that comes on XRP ledger, which increases the value of XRP. That's literally the network effect. So it will be priced in. But when? That's something we don't know. Patience is going to be the hardest part for everyone. Right now, look at this. Australia, Brazil, Argentina, Belgium, Singapore, UAE, UK, different markets are being opened for on-demand liquidity. So anyone who is just going to be pushing you into the negative side, you need to stand up and answer this. Okay, I do understand these are happening. I do see value being built. I do see brain power and money moving onto that ecosystem. If governments are across the globe are working with them, and most of them say, okay, we don't care if SEC is in a fight with you guys. Literally, that's what they gave, right? So this is the fundamental side. Now you are looking at the market. The market is trying to bounce and CC gives you this opinion. And I'm like, wow, that's completely true. Because a lot of people will say this asset class is dead, it's going out, there's nothing you can do. But this is something you have to understand. This is a cycle top. This is not. This is a cycle top. This is not. Now that's my thought process, because you don't actually make a new all-time high like this. You make it like this. There is always a difference like that. You go to individual assets, which has been there, or else it's not trending higher. It will be another asset which is range bound. Say if you look at, say, Namecoin, I think it's NMC. Yeah, Namecoin. You go to this one and look at its price action from a long time. It goes up, come back down. It goes up, come back down, putting a lower high. It's not trending to the upside. In these cases, it's different. Whereas if you are looking at an asset which is trending higher on the macro, that's your trend. But that's a macro trend. So if you don't have patience, you won't be able to look at that. Now, on the short-term scenario, what do you actually think XRP is going to do? it is really good to understand that we are holding on to this one and this pattern has broken to the upside. That's actually a great thing to see. But until we break this level, we may still have a possibility to come back down to 0.35, 0.37, and the local bottom support here of 0.36. But that's all somewhat close. So you can have a retest and bounce to test this 0.43, 0.44 range. But if you are getting rejected, then your bottom becomes this 0.33. The key here is that we need to observe that XRP is going to break this one. If we do, then on a daily, you are moving about the 200-day moving average, 20, 50, all these moving average are being crossed to the upside. Now, the interesting part is that when this moving average crossed to the downside, you had XRP moving to the upside here. Great. Now, that's something most likely we are observing here because the 20 is crossing 200 to the downside and you are seeing the price going up. So here when 20 crossed the 50 to the upside, the price went up. So if the price is able to go here and get rejected, this theory becomes valid. Super strong, right? Because when you go back up, you actually see this. When it was crossing to the upside, price came down. When it was crossing to the downside, price came up, right? If that theory stands true, which mostly I see that it's happening like that, that's on a daily. Then you start to go back on a 3-day, weekly macro and you see like, okay, here we are crossing to the upside. The trend should be upside. As we crossed up, we came back down. So now that we are trying to come back down to cross to the downside, this should go up. That makes sense. But this is a 3-day chart, not a short-term scenario. Then we are like, okay, even if we are going up, we do have resistance near 0.5. We need to break that. I see people talking about the all-time highs. That's really great. You need to know where you should be taking your profits. You need an idea about that. Agreed. But not for assets which are breaking through all the supports and going down. At that position, you should be looking at which is going to be the biggest next support for that asset, not the upside. You can think about the upside if it is holding on to a long-term support and then showing strength. Buyers are entering there. Say, for example, you go on to the daily chart and look at the volume for XRP. It's slowly, and today it's not closed yet. It's just starting in parts of the world. And you see like positive volume here. Now you will get a retest, that's for sure. Most likely you're going to do that. And if you bounce, that's now bullish because you're going to look at this territory. But until you break this one, you cannot go bullish. Long term, you're bullish, but short term, that may not help you. Speculation is always healthy, but it should make sense and it should be based on facts, connecting the dots, not from stories, right? So that's what we try to do, and technical analysis kind of gives you some of the thought process. Now, some can be really heavy outliers. Some can make a little bit of sense. As I actually saw recently, people asking about this position here. And I'm like observing BCB, Diff'n Doc, Tara, all others. And then it's kind of in a somewhat close range. Just a couple of them seems to be outliers, right? Now, I'm talking about wave 2 here, precisely. So in that wave 2 scenario, you can just neglect the outliers. Now, if you are statistically going to test the significance of the idea, your hypothesis is like, okay, this guy is right, or this group, the mean value is going to stay, right? At that position, what you can really do here is take the mean value, look what the standard deviations are to the positive and negative side from that mean. Now, that can be a good range if you do trust these guys, right? And I'm really happy to see us on that level. That's a good positive thing evolving in the market. Now, going back to the market, you do see a lot of volume going up, down, up, down. XRP yesterday was 1.5 billion. Till afternoon today, we had 1.5, but right now it's 1 billion. But look at this. It was around 10 and now it's down to 6. So you do see fluctuations happening inside the market. So money is coming in, money is going out. And this is something really interesting. See, USDT going towards fiat exchanges is still there. But that moving towards crypto exchange is huge. It's heavy. That's actually a positive news considering how big money is buying at the bottom. And usually the retail money never try to buy at the bottom. Now, this is a daily chart. You really get a lot of noise, but that noise also help you to see that this picture is not invalidated. You are still having the cup and handle pattern. That is something macro bullish outlook which you can actually have. So if you are not into that, it's completely okay. But even at that point, you should be definitely looking at this. This is the altcoin market dominance. Now, why is this so important? I was talking with my members and giving that idea that if I look at this and say that this is a bear market, that means I need to see what happened in the last bear market. This was the last bear market where the altcoin dominance went down. Great. Fine. Now, this time around, I don't actually see altcoin market trending to the downside in a bear market, whereas what I see is it's trending to the upside. So when it was trending to the upside, you go look at what the price action was like. It was really great. Here it was consolidating with a trend to the upside and then a burst, which was really great. You see the three-wave pattern here. But here it's moving up. And if you are like, okay, I'm not a trend guy, I mean, get the trend wrongly, then now what you're trying to look at is like, okay, what is the market showing you? If you actually look at this and you see a rounded bottom, that usually is a bullish reversal signal. But the issue there is it can also be like this and become a cup and handle pattern too. Now that depends on how the market is going to evolve and how long it's going to take to break to the upside. But right now, if your momentum is to the upside, moving like this, then consolidating down like this, correcting back down, instead of going lower, it's now slowly going back up and staying there. When people give you the idea of bear market, you're not going through that. You're staying here. So if you happen to break to the upside, what does that mean? That's what you have to understand, right? Last time when you did that, that was a great time for altcoin market. But right now, the entire market is being impacted. Dollar is slowing down. That's a good story. We are seeing the stock market doing positive numbers. That's all good, great. But crypto market is not yet completely out from this guy's image because the news is actually coming out on every single day. And it's really hard to even think like some of these, maybe you don't even know whether this is going to be a real video, but it actually gives you a lot of narrative on both sides, right? Then you come onto the market and you're like, okay, this is like the competitor who has actually done this first, but then you see people doing this again. That means that area is getting attention, and that's the only reason competitors are entering. If someone is doing something and it's not profitable, why would others go in? And Ripple is going in, and not only that, they are getting attention. They are reaching in different countries to do this. That's actually super bullish in my opinion. Now guys, if you have another 5 minutes to watch, this is my second channel. You can go into this and spend that 5 minutes to see if you are really interested about life, success, wealth, and how you can keep that grind going. So that's it for today, guys. If you received value, please do hit that like and subscribe button. I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye for now.